in death with every breath. I'm sucking in death with every breath.
Oh man, needed to catch my breath. Woo!
Boy, oh boy.
And allow everyone to catch their breath because this is American Brews and Tunes.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity beeby dow.
Wow, thanks again for joining us for another fun episode of American Brews and Tunes.
Yeah, welcome back from the theme song.
This is actually our first regular type format episode in a little while because
Yeah,
I know we had
that's
that
very true.
We had a one-off, and then we had that two-part episode with Against Me and Bon Iver. And then we had another one-off episode featuring Blink-182. But now we're back at it, back to the regular,
back to scheduled programming.
And for those of you who don't know what the regular scheduled program is, here's a quick little rundown. Each week, I recommend a punk rock-ish album for Jesse to listen to.
Check.
He recommends a indie folk or alternative record for me to listen to.
Check.
And we try different beers. We each have our own unique beer.
Double check.
So we're back at it. What have you been listening to these past 2 weeks?
I've been listening to an album from the band Jawbreaker called Dear You.
Oh, interesting.
What album were you listening to this past week?
I've been listening to Mountain Goats. The album We Shall All Be Healed. And
note.
I guess that's a telegram when you say like
and
end.
note.
Mountain Goats. ... space Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
But we've been listening to those two albums for the past 2 weeks, and we're here for no other reason but to review them.
Review them
drink beer.
and try beer.
Yeah.
What could be better? Two of the best things in the whole entire universe, even.
Let me try and think of what could be better.
Maybe if we added comics to this.
Oh, that would be pretty good.
That might be slightly better. How can you make an A+ better? How can you make a 4.0 GPA better?
4.1 or A++.
Yeah. Take an AP course
Yeah, no.
and get better high school credits. I don't know.
No AP. No
I didn't
AP.
either. What, did I take an AP course in high school?
I had many opportunities and I said, nope.
I can't really remember. But speaking of high school, I was telling Steve this earlier today. I went to a show recently where there was a bunch of high school children.
The Utes.
The Utes, as some people say. I think they were maybe like just out of high school. And boy, oh boy, do I feel old now. Their vernacular was very strange and weird.
You're not hip to the lingo anymore.
I'm
I'm
not hip to... Oh, you are?
I'm on fleek with it, yo. I'm on fleek with the vibes.
I'm on fleek with the vibes, yo.
I got my flip phone out. I'm just kidding.
What was that one phone where...
The Juke?
No, the Juke was that
Sidekick?
the sidekick. That's what I was thinking of.
I didn't have one, but everyone there was.
Neither
it was
did I.
cool
And
when
I
it
was
came
like,
out.
whenever I saw someone with it, I was like, oh man, that seems so much cooler than my tiny little rectangle phone.
My rectangle phone. But enough about phones. We'll come back to the Mountain Goats and Jawbreaker albums. Why don't we talk about beers?
Oh, you know what? I think that's a good idea.
We unintentionally got similar themed beers.
It was completely intentional.
I know that no, it wasn't intentional. It just happened.
It wasn't intentional.
It was everything aligned perfectly. And I know we specified last episode.
Yeah.
We were very much going to not have IPAs this episode.
Yes.
So we don't have IPAs.
Because recently, well, we both love IPAs.
Yeah, they're
let's
my
be
favorite.
honest. They're the
But
best.
we've been having them way too much lately.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to have one next episode.
Yeah.
Probably.
I most likely will as well.
But, so we made a deal to not have IPAs, so we chose something different.
Yeah.
I went into my beer cellar, aka my closet filled with beers that I've been saving for a long time, and I picked out one that sounded interesting. It's called, I'll tell you what, it's called a 24 Karat Golden Ale, and it's a carrot cake inspired Belgian style ale. So that's kind of interesting sounding, right? It says brewed with carrots, cinnamon, raisins, and vanilla beans.
That sounds pretty good.
And it's a collaboration between 3 breweries. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 2 breweries and 1 home brewer. It was from a home brewing contest, and 2 breweries helped make it.
Okay.
The home brewer is named Julie Goldenberg. She made a golden ale.
Goldenberg.
The first brewer, I should say, is Monkey Paw.
Monkey Paw.
Never heard of them. And the main brewery, which hosted the homebrew contest, is Stone. I know we've had a lot of Stone brews on here, but it's this beer's
what's
from
her name?
2015 actually.
Oh, that's
So it's
Kinda old.
aged.
Been aged for a
But
little
Belgians can age pretty well.
Oh, it's a golden ale. Yeah.
Yeah,
duh.
so IPA is not sometimes depending on what it is. Like the
Yeah.
120 minute, you can age that.
Yeah.
But this one should be good. It brings in at 8.5 ABV, so it's a little higher grav, but it's not the highest grav that we're gonna see tonight. I know that.
Yeah. You want to know what's a little bit higher grav?
What? Something that's 9%?
No. Well, technically, yes, that's
Yeah.
a true statement.
But before Jesse says that, just keep in mind, this is a carrot cake inspired beer. So it's like it's like dessert for beer. Am I right?
Yeah. Curious.
What are you having tonight, Jesse?
I would say that I'm having an even more dessert beer tonight.
What?
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of dessert you like.
Yeah, carrot cake is like from the north, right? Would you say more northern? Where do you get carrot cake?
Anywhere, I
Let's
think.
just say it's from the north.
Sure.
Just for
Oh,
poops and
gonna go out and get what should we have for dessert tonight, eh? Oh, maybe we should get a northern carrot cake.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah.
You betcha.
Oh, the northern carrot cake. Okay. Yeah, sounds
So,
good.
What are you having?
Well, if the carrot cake is northern, then what would be southern? What would be a southern dessert?
Whoopie pie.
You guys at home take a guess as to
Moon
what a southern.
pies.
Well, moon pies are a southern thing.
Goo goos.
Goo goos.
Goo goo clusters.
Boo boo.
What are you drinking tonight? Boo boo.
I'm drinking boo boo.
This is gonna go off topic so quick.
But for real, what's more southern than a pecan pie?
Not much.
Right?
The only other thing I can think of would be a sweet potato pie, but both of them are very southern.
Uh,
But why would you mention pecan pie?
I don't know.
Or as they say in the South, pecan pie.
Why would you mention a pecan pie to me?
Yes, tell me.
Well, I would mention a pecan or pecan, depending on where you're from, pie to you because I'm having Evil Twin Brewing. They're even more pecan pie Jesus.
Oh.
So if you guys remember from previous episodes, we had the even more cocoa Jesus, right?
Yes, I believe I had that one. Correct?
Yeah, and then the even. Did I have the even more cocoa Jesus?
No, I don't think so. I think you might have tasted it, but I think I was one. I don't remember.
We can't remember.
We definitely had the even more cocoa Jesus on the podcast.
So this is I think I'm interested by this. It's an imperial stout brewed with molasses and with pecan extract added.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So why don't we say we crack these, pour them, and give them a little try, you know?
This one's coming in at 12%
So that's
ABV.
high gravity.
Yeah. Oof.
So take that high gravity and open that can.
I'm gonna
that
use-
pecan. Of
I
beer.
can open this pecan
It's
beer.
his beer's canned, in case you can't tell by our puns. Mine's in a bottle. So here we
In
go.
a bottle.
Wow, did you hear the how mine cracked? For a 3-year-old beer, it actually had a nice amount of carbonation. I was a little surprised.
Was it more like this? Or was it more like this?
It was like this. So none of the
Oh,
above.
okay. So it was like
But you know what? When you age a beer, sometimes it loses the carbonation and gets a little smoother, but kind of dies out. Mine looks like it has a pretty good amount of carbonation and everything left.
I just about accidentally spilled. I started pouring beer in my pants.
Don't do that, because yours looks very much darker than mine.
Wow, this is dark as the night. It's almost as if midnight has been formed into a beer and put in my glass.
It's like your beer's name is the night, so you just like color it black, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Anyhow, my beer color, like we said, Jesse's is black as the night. Pretty tan head on there. It's pretty good.
It's like I would say brown. It's
Brown.
Not,
Let's say brown.
It's not a tan head.
Let's say it's a brown head. Mine's a pretty orangish.
Yeah, it is a pretty orange.
It's not cloudy like I would think that some Belgians might be, but you know. But like I said, it's more bubbly and carbonated than I thought it was. There's a head, and it's retaining it pretty good here.
It's been a while, so.
Yeah, so smell-wise, mine smells like a Belgian, like triple or Belgian double.
Really?
Like it smells like a Belgian beer.
Yeah, it does.
Like the from the Belgian yeast, what you'd expect to smell. What's your smell?
Mine
like?
smells like a sweet stout.
Let me get a sniff. I want to see if I can
wouldn't
smell
say-
pecans.
Well, I know what it's the,
I think I
the
can get
molasses.
I get
and-
sweetness from that. It might be the molasses though.
molasses and the pecan extract.
Shall we go for it?
Let's say the magic words.
Shibbidi-boo-doo!
Didn't really sound like anything. If you couldn't hear the glasses clinked. We swear they did.
Oh, Interesting.
O is right.
We both have big beers, and the flavors are ever present. Would be a good word.
This is interesting.
I feel like I can really taste carrots in this.
Ooh, I can really taste the nuttiness of this. It's real good.
I might need to let this beer warm up to try and get to the notes of vanilla that they were talking about and the cinnamon, but I'm pretty sure I can taste carrots.
Wait, you say vanilla?
There's vanilla flavoring in here.
Wait, no. I'm saying the way you pronounce vanilla.
Vanilla.
Wait, say it again.
Vanilla.
Vanilla?
Do you say vanilla?
Vanilla, yeah.
Yeah, I say vanilla, like it's an E instead of an I. I know. That's just how I pronounce it. Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Like Nelly.
Oh, got some vanilla.
But so far, my first sip, it just tastes like sweet carrots and Belgian beer.
Nice.
Which is kind of, might sound weird to you guys, but it actually is really tasty.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a reason that Stone chose her homebrew.
Yes. And fun fact, the homebrew that won either the year or a couple years before this was the Stone Jokoweza Stout.
Oh, and
that
now
was
they
a home
mass-produced that.
It was a home beer, and now they mass-produce it every year.
Yeah.
This was just a one-time thing that Stone did for the carrot cake beer. Want to switch?
Yeah, well, let me say something about this beer.
Describe
first.
before we switch.
This beer is good.
That's very descriptive.
I know. I'm gonna get into it. I'm just
I know.
laying a blanket down. I'm putting down the blanket before we have the picnic, if you know what I mean.
I don't. Well, I guess I get
Before
the picture.
you gotta get that basket. You gotta lay down the blanket.
No, first before you gotta look for ant colonies.
Holes,
Yeah.
ant hills.
And you gotta look out for those first.
That's a good point.
You don't put your blanket on
Okay,
top
so
of an ant
first you drive to the park.
Yeah.
Or the forest or wherever.
Let's just say park.
Wherever you're gonna have
picnic
this
in the
picnic.
park.
Okay, then you look for ant hills.
Yeah.
Make sure there are no ant hills by where you're gonna have your picnic. Otherwise, it'll be just like the cartoons where they come up and steal your food.
Mm-hmm.
Then you lay down the blanket. Then you take the basket, which is my review, which is what I'm saying about this beer. Okay.
Okay.
So in this case, what I said at first, this is a good beer. That was me laying down the blanket.
Oh, I gotcha. What's
And
inside the basket is the flavors.
Me opening and pouring my beer was checking for ant hills.
Okay.
And then the
Flavors
basket
are in the basket?
before you can eat, you got to open up the basket and unpack everything.
Yeah.
Unpack all your food.
Okay.
So I'm about to unpack my review of this beer.
Unpack your review, sir.
So just like a picnic, that's how I'm describing my beer.
I'm hungry for a chicken salad sandwich, so unpack that picnic.
Sorry, the only thing I brought was pecan pie.
You son of a gun.
Which this beer tastes a lot like.
I want a southern style chicken salad sandwich.
Too bad you're
The
gonna
kind
get
that has a half a grape in it.
just a half a grape. Wait, what?
Halved grapes.
Halved grapes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Not too many, just a couple. No raisins.
Oh, what?
Sweet. It's got a little bit of sugar in there.
You don't like raisins. I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, let me unpack my basket.
Yeah, so go unpack. This metaphor is going on too long.
All I brought in my picnic basket is pecan pie.
So are you getting anything else? Coffee or?
I'm saying, okay, well, let me unpack the pecan pie.
Unpack it all.
It has the nice, kind of heavy, thick mouthfeel that an Imperial Stout normally would. It has a really upfront malty presence. And then you kind of get this slight sweetness, which is very reminiscent of pecans and molasses, what they said, but kind of like if you had tasted pecan pie, or no, if you would just have the filling from the pecan pie, that's the flavor that I'm getting. It's like that dark brown sugar sweetness,
yeah,
along with a really nice nuttiness of a pecan pie of pecans. So now that I've unpacked my basket and told everybody what's inside of it, let's do a little switcherooski.
Yes, let us.
Whoop, whoop. I didn't have any lettuce in my basket.
Oh my goodness. Well, why don't we turn these tomatoes and ketchup and let's catch up on some beer.
What's the joke from
Pulp Fiction?
From Pulp Fiction, yeah.
What did the Papa Tomato say to the baby tomato?
Ketchup.
Who was falling behind?
Ketchup. Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean.
The carrots?
Yeah.
I'm getting the there's like a carameliness to this, like a salty carameliness that I think is probably coming from the
pecan filling. Just
yeah.
think about if you're eating a pecan pie.
That's what it tastes like.
Filling.
You obviously have like the heavy body and the strong flavors from the stout, but that pecan filling flavor is there.
It comes through, but it's not too much that it would overpower it.
This is dessert.
Yeah, it's very good. This is also really good. Your beer is also very good.
But you see what I mean? Like the sweetness from a carrot, but you also have that like the groundwork of a Belgian style ale.
I would say it's definitely carrot cake.
Yeah.
It has kind of like I would say it tastes like you're eating a bite of carrot cake. So like, you know how the frosting, they normally use like cream cheese frosting
Yeah.
on carrot cake?
Way better than regular
It's like
frosting,
having
let's
that.
be
It's
honest.
like a nice kind of like carrots, but then with the sweetness of like the creaminess of the cream cheese frosting.
Yes.
That's what I think. It tastes very good. But yeah, like you said, above or underneath or above a Belgian style.
Yeah.
What do you say? Underneath or above it? It's kind of. I think it's.
I'd say it's above.
Underneath it.
I'd say the Belgian style is the foundation.
Right. The carrot
Carrot's
is.
just
Carrot is just
floating above.
Oh, I see.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Shall we move into the albums?
Yes, we shall.
If the beers change as they warm up, we will let you know.
Yes, sounds good.
I'm gonna go first because I believe on the last episode of the two-parter, you went first.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
So
through this
good.
one relatively quickly because it's a long album. There's a lot to talk about.
Okay, sounds good.
So the Mountain Goats. They are a band that's been around for quite a while.
Yep.
Comprised originally of John Darnielle. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his
I
name.
think that's how you pronounce his name.
He was a singer-songwriter, and he was like the sole member for a long time.
Yeah.
Guitar player also. But then he obviously got a band. And one of their early unique characteristics for their first like 6 albums is he recorded on a boombox.
Yeah.
So it was super lo-fi. It sounded very raw and kind of. I'm gonna be a little judgy here and say crappy sounding.
Yeah.
But that's what I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah,
He
it
didn't
was
really care.
intentional. It was
very
intentional.
intentional
Yeah.
to convey a message. And it worked for what he's going for. It sounded pretty good. But the album before, the one I'm reviewing, they finally got a budget from a studio and went to a recording.
Oh,
a budget
okay.
from a label and went to a studio.
Okay.
So the album that was before was called Tallahassee, and like I said, that was the first one that they went to a studio. But for this one, they had more full band stuff than they did on Tallahassee. And like I said before, this album's called We Shall All Be Healed.
Yeah.
Released in 2004, it's their 8th studio album,
Okay.
and they've released quite a bit since then too. They've been very consistent.
Yeah.
This album, however, according to John Darnielle, is the most autobiographical, at least up to that point of the releases.
Huh.
And many of these songs are about his own or his friends' experiences with hard drugs, namely meth and
Okay.
heroin. And he said, like, all the experiences that are from his friends are probably people who are either dead or in jail right now. He doesn't know.
Wow. Okay.
But he's, like, very strongly, like, these people are either in jail or in dead. I don't know.
Wow.
Like, so they're gone. My own little take before I go into the song-by-song review is that this album wasn't as hooky as some of their other albums. And I've actually am familiar with the Mountain Goats. I have 2 of their albums.
By hooky, you don't mean catchy, though. Or do you mean catchy?
Uh,
Because hooky and catchy are a different thing.
Catchy in a way. I mean, there's not as much hooks.
Hooky is like, there's just, hooky is what you do when
Not
you
as
wanna
many
skip school.
choruses. And it's not as melodically catchy as some of their other albums, I'll say that.
Right. Okay.
I had 2 of their other albums before, so I did know of the Mountain Goats, and I liked them. But I wasn't super duper familiar with their catalog, and I definitely hadn't heard this album.
Okay.
So, shall I go to the songs?
I think you shall.
Okay, song number 1, which is called Slow West Vultures. I gave it 3 Mountain Goats.
You're doing this one again? The same review for Band of Forces.
Yeah, but it's a little different.
Okay. We'll see what you mean.
It
later.
is. So this is a definite proclamation of what the production style is going to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
It's full band through and through. So he's like, I'm sure that was the intention to say, like, I know you've heard my past albums, but here is this. It's polished. It's a lot more clean sounding, and I've got a full band, and they're going to be here for the whole album.
That's just like a Decemberist album where the first song is called something like "To the Person Listening to This" or something like that, and they say like, "We're changing our sound. Sorry if you don't like it. I know that you are used to this type of sound, but we're changing it. So sorry if you don't like it."
Got to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
You can't always please the crowds.
Well, you don't. Yeah. You're right.
You do what you want as an artist. Sometimes it doesn't fly. Sometimes it flies.
Sometimes it flies, but it's under the radar.
Sometimes the great white goy. Sometimes the great white don't go. I don't know.
What is that? Is that
Jaws?
Jaws, yeah.
Yeah.
What else does he say?
His eyes are all black and lifeless, like doll's eyes.
I was always confused as to whether he was saying doll's eyes or dog's eyes.
No, dolls, because they're black and lifeless. Like
Dolls.
dogs can have. You can see a soul in the dog's eye sometimes.
Yeah. You can. You can't see a soul in a doll, though.
Or can you?
Doll.
Annabelle, the horror movie. Then again, I think it's a demon possessing it, so maybe it's not a soul. Who knows?
It's a disembodied.
Does a demon have a soul?
malfigured- I don't know. It all depends on what your doctrine says.
True, but there are talks about demons on this album, so let's get back to the album.
All right. Good segue.
Anyways, this song's about being drug addicts. Like, we are what we are, we're cursed. They go a little bit more into it.
We are what we are. Get in the golden car.
Like filming the sequel before
the
treatment.
treatment's even finished. Yeah.
That could either be like literally talking about a film, or it could be like doing drugs before your treatment's done. Man, who knows?
Could be.
Anyways, moving on to track number 2.
That would make sense. Filming the sequel
Mhm.
before the treatment's even finished, so like already going back to the same, like a new,
Well, you're not out of rehab
a new
before?
iteration of the story that's already been told before
Yeah.
the treatment's finished. Yeah, that makes sense.
Track number 2 is called Palm Quarter Yajna. And this is one of the singles that they released. It's
Really
I've read that it's one of the more popular songs on the album.
interesting.
I gave this 3 mountain goats and a kid.
Oh, and a
Kid's
kid.
a baby goat.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
and a kid.
I had to ask Siri what the name of a baby goat. I thought it was a kid, but I had to ask
Yeah,
Siri.
yeah.
I was like, "Is a kid a baby goat?" And Siri was like, "This is what I found on the internet."
Actually, a kid is a human child.
Actually,
you fool.
That's not what my Siri sounds like. My Siri is a female-voiced Australian.
Yeah.
It's like, "Here's what I found on the internet."
Here's what I found on the internet, Steve-O.
It's
Actually, doesn't she call you Steve?
she calls me Steve Areno.
Steve Areno.
Like if I say, "Siri, what's my name?" and she's like, "Your name is Steven, but you asked me to call you Steve Areno." That's so funny. Anyways, back to the song. Track number 2, Palm Quarter Yajna.
Yajna.
A palm quarter is a form of an old camcorder,
Yeah.
and yajna is a Hindu ritual sacrifice.
Oh,
So the
they're
filming
getting ready. They're getting,
Of a sacrifice or something sacred or bad, maybe?
or they're getting rid of. They're sacrificing the old ways that they record things.
I don't think so. I think it's more about drugs.
Okay, you're probably
When
right.
I go into the songs, because this song's about like he talked about like stealing money from a restaurant that he worked for, and when I say autobiographical, it's mainly him talking about other people's stories, but I think his experiences tie into this. And when I say other people's stories, I mean his friends.
Yeah.
He talked about stealing like money from the restaurant he worked at and buying lots of drugs for the next week, and then going to a hotel with some either acquaintances or friends that you don't know too well, and just doing a lot of drugs.
Wow.
So this crappy hotel, like he talks about, like there's cockroaches or
Yeah.
carpenter ants in the walls, but I'm not paying
Yeah.
attention. But like there's one line that I think ties the title into this song, and it is, "And I dreamed of a camera pointed out from inside the television."
I dreamt of a camera.
Yes. So
Okay.
imagine a camera filming you during this huge drug methamphetamine filled bender.
Yep.
It's like it's like not ritual sacrifice, but you're kind of killing yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
a
being
ritual,
filmed.
so it's happened.
So that's
over
that.
and
I
over
think that ties with the title, but it's also deals with the paranoia of a drug addict.
Well, it probably ties in with the title because, like, whenever I think about that, the camera from the TV looking on, I think about, like, if you had the ability to kind of, like, be out of your body and, like, watching yourself, you know? Because you know how, like, people say, like, oh, you'll never actually see your own face,
Yeah.
you know? So, like, you'll never actually see how other people see you.
Yeah.
And so think about that from that perspective. Like,
I can see that.
someone else watching what he's doing, but it's a camera so he could maybe, I don't know, watch it back or something. But
Or it's the paranoia of a meth head.
yeah, but I mean, in terms of with the title,
Yeah.
we shall all.
Well, also the title "We Should All Be Healed" is ironic because I don't think he believes that they can be healed.
yeah,
A lot of his friends are in jail or dead.
within the context of this album.
On to
Maybe
track
not.
number 3, which is called "Linda Blair Was Born Innocent." I gave this 3 mountain goats and 2 kids.
Oh,
Do
2
you know who
kids.
Linda Blair is?
No.
She was the child actor that played Reagan in The Exorcist, the girl who got possessed.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, huh? So obviously there's some religious themes in this song.
About your rating, 3 mountain goats and 2 kids.
I'm going familial style. The more kids, the better.
How many kids does it take to make a mountain goat?
I don't know. Well, kids have the possibility of turning into goats. So
I mean, in terms of, okay.
it has possibility of bumping
So
up.
it has possibility to be 5-star
So
eventually.
no, it has a possibility of being. You're right.
5 mountain goats eventually.
But you're reading too much into it.
But then those other mountain, yeah, never mind.
This song, like lyrically, it doesn't really do much for me, but the music I really enjoyed. based on the music alone, I almost recommended this
Oh
song.
wow, okay, that's interesting.
Because it's got a pretty vast string section, and it kind of does these like where they're plucking the strings during the verse, and then the chorus they actually use the bows and play on the
bow.
strings. It's very cool sounding, and I really enjoy listening to this song.
I was watching this documentary a little bit ago, where this guy in Japan, the scientist in Japan, harvested spider silk and made a violin bow with that instead of horsehair.
That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that was
Spiders
just
are
a
gross.
slight grasp.
On to track number 4, which is called Letters from Belgium. I gave us 3 mountain goats.
Nice.
It's very important to note that, and there, I checked with a couple different sources, so this fact is kind of backed up. I mean, there's always a possibility that's wrong. But Belgium, in this context, is a metaphor for the place that meth users want to go to while they're using meth. So
That
like
makes
when you
sense.
use your meth to go to like get that headspace, Belgium's your place you want to go to.
In that context, one of the later songs makes a lot of sense.
Which I'll touch upon greatly.
yeah.
So like I said, the song's about being on meth and being with a group of people who are also on meth, the tweakers, and your thoughts and interactions between the group.
all you tweakers.
Like getting the electrical equipment. Like we
Yeah.
need more of that because we could sell it and use it.
That song makes so much more sense
Doesn't it?
now that you put it in the context
Doesn't
of that.
it?
Yeah.
Like it really, like before it's kind of weird, like getting all kind of crap for
Yeah, it was
supplies.
like, good, we can always use more makeup and creams and powders.
Yeah, cause sell it for drugs. But
Oh,
there were
that
also
makes-
there were some other theories I read about that, but the consensus was drugs.
That makes a lot of sense now.
On to the next song, which is track number 5, called "The Young Thousands." I gave this 4 mountain goats, and I recommended
I like
this.
that song a lot,
It was very catchy, and it was one of the few songs that I instantly liked.
Here they come,
The
young thousands.
Here they come. Anyways, so I think this song is about going to find drugs and how there's an excitement, but like a hauntingness to it, and how it's not good, but you're like looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And he talks about ghosts in the house, like embodying and like getting worse and worse, and like making the dull pain more dull, or not making it less dull.
Not getting
Any dollar.
any dollar.
But the chorus itself, which is my favorite part, "Here They Come, the Young Thousands,"
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what it means. It could mean like the thousands of people who are like addicted to drugs coming to get their fix, or it could mean like the 1,000 haunting thoughts that are coming to plague you. It could mean a whole bunch of things.
bunch of different things.
I couldn't find John Darnell.
Okay.
I couldn't find any of his specific words, so it could be a couple different things.
Okay.
Open for interpretation. But that's my first recommendation.
Nice.
On to track number 6.
I agree with you, by the way.
Oh, it's
I
good?
would have recommended that song too.
Great song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Track number 6, which is called "Your Belgian Things." Oh, another Belgian reference, and I'm having a Belgian beer. Whoa! That's my second recommendation.
Nice.
And I gave it
also-
5 mountain goats.
I also would have. This is my favorite song on the entire album.
This song is most likely, and I read a bunch of critiques, most likely about a raid of a meth lab in a house. And how the people who are coming to take the Belgian things are police coming to take away drug paraphernalia or evidence or like all kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
that's the Belgian things, like the Belgian to get you to Belgium, the things that make your drugs, etc., etc. The interesting thing about this song is like the person who he's singing to, like is having their Belgian things taken away, isn't there.
Yeah, they're.
They're either gone or they're dead.
I feel like they're dead.
It doesn't say for sure, but it
Based
seems like
on
they're dead.
one line,
I'll tell. Here's the one line.
I see if it's the same one that I'm thinking of.
I bet you it's the exact same line, and it is, I can... Oh, no, not that line. I wish you had a number where you are.
Yeah.
Like, you want to get in contact with them, but they're dead. Is that what you were thinking of?
There was another
Or I
line.
can see you in my sleep. You don't see live people in your sleep.
Playing the points
Playing
for
the
all
points
they're
while you're
worth.
worth. Walking gingerly across
Walking
bruised earth.
gingerly across the bruised earth. That guitar part in the beginning is just so catchy too.
Was that the line you were thinking
The
of? What
one,
were
the
you-
one line that I think also conveys it is when he says, "A tiger's never gonna change his stripes."
But I don't know if that would refer to someone being dead. When I think of that, I think of like a someone who's making drugs. Someone who's taking drugs isn't going to change their ways, you know.
But then he says, "I guess, but Jesus, what a mess. One way in, no
No way
way out." So that
could be it too.
I think that implies that they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
But
It could be that they just
That's-
skipped town.
that's
I think
true,
they're dead though.
true, you're
I
right.
think they're dead based on
I
the
think
song.
so too.
But that's a crazy, like, the subject matter is really like insane and crazy in the song, and it's really soft sounding, the music and
Yeah.
the lyrics. So
It's
it's
very
that
somber. It's not really somber, but it's like
juxtaposition is really interesting between it's pleasant sounding. I'm gonna say that it's nice and it's soft and pleasant sounding.
what am I trying to think? It's
I'm not gonna
very
say it's not somber. It doesn't sound somber at all. It's just very pleasant and
It's
gliding sounding.
contemplative.
I'd agree with you, but it's not like bombastic.
It's not aggressive.
Yeah.
and-
Which you
It's very-
might think for a drug raid at a
Yeah.
meth lab explosion house.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song though. On to track number 7, which is called Mole. I gave this a rating of 3
I am a
goats and 2 kids, and I gave an honorable mention.
Oh, 2 kids. Okay.
It's kind of an odd song.
It is. Yeah.
The feel, but it was also one of the songs that caught me on the first listen, mainly
Okay.
because of the chorus. I am a mole, bum bum, bum bum bum, sticking his head above the surface.
Of the earth.
But
Yeah.
that chord progression that's going on, the way he plays it as he sings that is really well done and really catchy.
Yeah.
Lyrically, I think it's about a friend who OD'd and probably wakes up in the hospital chained to their hospital bed. Like he says that you're chained to your bed.
Yeah.
And he's a mole, so maybe he's like trying to figure out what
trying
happened.
to figure out what happened, but also maybe he's a mole because he's sneaking in to give him drugs.
Could be. I don't know, but it's interesting, isn't it?
He's a little sneaky mole.
But I thought that was a fun song. I almost recommended it, but I was
Yeah.
at the
Well,
end,
you gave it a hum. So
I did. It was tough
Good
to
deal.
pick ratings and honorable mentions. I went back and forth between quite a few songs.
yeah, I had a tough time as well.
On to track number 8, which
Okay.
is my last recommendation and maybe my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
It's called Home Again Garden Grove. I gave this a rating of, get ready for this rating, 5 mountain goats standing halfway up a steep cliff rock face.
What?
Have you ever seen like a picture of mountain goats like standing on like a sheer walk wall?
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
Now imagine
true.
seeing 5 of them up there. Is that awesome or
Now
what?
imagine seeing 5 of them up there.
I know. Well, you see one up there, and you're like, how's he up there?
Wait,
How's he
did
not falling?
Did you write all that down?
Yes, I did.
I'm standing.
Yes, that's my rating.
Wait, why wouldn't they be standing all the way up a rock face?
Because it's more interesting when they're halfway up,
Oh,
up the
okay.
wall,
Gotcha.
in my opinion. That's why the ratings are unique to me,
Okay.
so it's whatever I want them to be. Go
You
ahead.
do you, man.
I will.
You do you.
And these goats will climb the rock wall whenever they're ready.
They'll climb whatever mountain they want.
Anyways, this song,
Climb every mountain.
that is not the song.
What's the next lyric? Storm every sea.
I don't know this song.
I can't remember.
I have no idea what song you're singing.
What?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what song I'm singing either.
I thought you were making that up on the
Don't-
spot.
No, don't you recognize that song though?
No.
Climb every mountain, to every sea.
I know that song from
Then
Tenacious
you'll
D.
find-
We've climbed Cape 2, even stopped a moving train. We've traveled in space and time, my friends, to rock this town again!
It's-
Rock! Rock!
It's from like a musical, I think.
I don't know what it is, though.
A movie musical.
I don't know.
If any of you know what it is,
Let us know.
let us know on Instagram.
Anyways, back
I
to
can't
track number 8,
remember.
Home Again in Garden Grove. And this sounds like an older Mountain Goat song. It doesn't have as sleek production. The vocals kind of break up a little bit. And there's no band. It's just basically vocals and guitar. I think this song is about going to a shady place, which is Garden Grove.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely about going to a shady place called Garden Grove, which is a real place. And in part pretending to be like tougher and more streetwise than you are to buy drugs from dealers. Like they
Okay.
talk about like, put on your bandana and don't show them that you're bleeding. Because they're definitely going to score drugs, for sure. Have you listened to the self-titled Sublime album, their last album?
Mm-mm.
The very first song on that album is called Garden Grove. And
Oh, really?
And Sublime's from Long Beach, which is right near Garden Grove, where Mountain Goats are singing about.
Huh.
They're talking about going to Garden Grove for like a little swanky party, like not swanky, a little kind of house party with,
Okay.
you know,
Update. Climb Every Mountain is from Sound of Music.
lame. No, Sound of Music's good, but anyways,
Climb every... Wait, that might not even be the song I'm thinking of. Wait. Ford Every Stream. That's what it is. Ford every stream. Follow every rainbow till you find your dream. Anyway.
the
Back
hills are alive
alive
with the sound of music.
Oh. Anyway,
I am 16, going on 17.
Baby, it's time
I
to
do
think.
I do tell
And
you
you-
and you and you. No more. No more of this.
Deer, a female deer.
Not a deer, a mountain
A
goat.
drop-
Back to the song Home Again Garden Grove.
Okay.
I think
Ray, a drop of golden
this
beer.
song exemplifies John Darnielle's vocal patterns the best out of any song on this album.
Okay.
Garden Grove. How's it go? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. That's what I'm saying. We have this problem. Wait, is this the one that starts off sounding like a Tenacious D song?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does that noise.
Just think about that. He just goes, ha! Ha!
Home again, Garden Grove. I think it's something like that.
Home again! Just focus on the am.
Yeah, but it's just a really fun song. It's
Just
fast.
listen to it and you'll know what we're talking
And
about.
it's about scoring drugs in a shady place and not getting murdered. So that's
Oh.
crazy.
Cheerful.
No, not at all.
Did you say this was your last recommendation?
My last recommendation, so I'll cruise through the last songs.
Okay.
Track number 9 is called All Up the Seething Coast. I gave this 2 Old Mountain Goats. It's my least favorite song.
Two old mountain goats.
Yeah, they're gonna die soon. Like, their balance is off, so if they're on the actual rock wall, they're gonna fall.
they're just gonna fall.
And the mountain
right
goats
off
at the
that
bottom
wall,
of the
that
rock wall are gonna eat them. So this song, track number 9, All Up the Seething Coast, is about being addicted to drugs, meth in particular, and kind of not really caring about the consequences. Like, he refers to sugar a lot. Apparently meth addicts
Refer to
really like
meth as
sugary
sugar?
and sweeter, like sweet
Wait a second.
foods.
This is that slow song that I really like.
It's not my favorite.
This is a song where he's like,
It's
I
talky.
I ate a couple of Milky Ways for breakfast.
Yeah, he doesn't sing as much. It's more talking.
I heap the sugar high and white and all I see.
Yes.
I like that song.
But they
a lot.
reference. It's not my favorite. I don't like it. But apparently, meth addicts really enjoy sugary, sweet foods
Makes
a
sense.
lot. So that's why he wrote this.
Well, seriously, after you put this in the context of
Drugs.
drug experiences, a lot of the songs make way more sense.
Yep. Like the next song, track number 10, which is called Quito, which is Quito. Quito. I gave it 3 mountain goats and 1 kid.
Oh, only one kid. Okay.
Quito is Spanish for like quitting, and I think the song's about quitting drugs potentially, following rehab steps. Like he talks about like forgiving those who he wronged, or like apologizing to those he wronged.
Okay.
It's got a similar vibe to Home Again, Garden Grove, where it's a little bit more like raw sounding than the rest of the album.
Okay.
But it's a nice song. It's fun. Fair enough. It's fun. You know,
Fair enough.
does its job.
Fair enough. Those mountain goats are happy where they are.
Track number 11, which is called Cotton. I gave it
Cotton.
a rating of 3 mountain goats. Now, why would this be cotton? Yep, heroin.
Dabbing
because
up.
cotton is used to filter out crap before you suck it up into the syringe.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until I watched Breaking Bad and saw Jesse making heroin shots.
Not me, Jesse Pinkman from
Jesse
the show.
Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Yeah, like he heated up his heroin in the spoon, like melted
Yeah.
it down, and then put a piece of cotton over top of it and sucked up the liquid through the cotton as a filter.
And then, spoiler alert, the one time...
No spoilers for Breaking Bad. It's too good. You
Never
can't
mind.
spoil it. I know you're going to
Well,
spoil.
I still haven't even seen the last season, so...
Unless half of the last season. I can't believe you haven't seen it, dude.
Literally, when I'm watching that show, I get to a point where I just, like, forget to keep watching it.
How? It draws you in so much.
I don't know. There's always
It's
something
a-
better for me to do.
I've never done heroin, but I can assume it's almost as addicting as watching Breaking Bad.
Apparently not, because I've never finished it.
You're crazy, dude. But anyways, Cotton's a really somber sounding song. It's slower. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Moving on to track number 12. Against
Is it the-
Pollution.
Is it the last one?
No, there's one more after.
Okay,
it.
one more.
I gave us 3 mountain goats and 1 kid. It's one of the more story-like songs on the album. It's about
Okay.
working at a liquor store,
Oh, yeah.
and a robber comes in to
I worked
rob
at a
the
liquor
place.
store.
But you shoot
This
him in the
guy
face
came
and
in.
kill him. You
I
kill the
shot him
robber.
in the face.
So he like
You killed the robber!
does he feel remorse or he like felt something?
No, he said he'd do it again.
Yes, but
The
I'm
song.
getting to that. But he's like, I felt something, so I went to the Catholic church, and he essentially like confesses,
Yeah.
and prays, and he's like, you know what, I did what I needed to do, and in the same situation in the future, I'd do it again.
Yeah.
So it's like religious themes and morality and all kind of good stuff.
Interesting.
But it's got a lot to ponder when you think about all the things that happen in that song.
Yeah. On to the last song?
On to the last song, track number 13, which is called. I gotta take my breath before I read this title.
Okay, go for it.
Pigs that ran straightway into the water, triumph of. It's a long title, and I'll tell you what it references to in a
beginning is
second.
funny.
Three mountain goats and one kid is what I referenced.
The great story of the pigs that went into the water and their great triumph.
And I believe that this is a reference to that biblical story where Jesus cast out demons and put them into the pigs.
Into pigs.
And the pigs ran straight into the water and drowned themselves.
Interesting.
So obviously there's some religious themes in this song.
Okay.
I think the song has a lot of demonic themes in like the urges and temptations. And that's what I was talking about, demons and The Exorcist.
Okay.
And I also think that there's like that threat of going to jail a lot. Because he talks about like the orange jumpsuits or whatever.
Yeah. Please don't fit me for that orange jumpsuit.
But he keeps coming back to, I'm from Chino, you know.
Yeah.
And apparently in Chino there are 3 big prisons. So maybe he's like, I'm used to being surrounded by prisons, so you can't scare me. I'm from Chino.
Overall thoughts for the album?
I like the album quite a bit. I like the Mountain Goats. I know I rated most of the songs at like 3 Mountain Goats plus
a
kid or two.
A kid or two, you know.
Yeah.
Don't want to throw some kids in there.
I think without the context of the drug use and like the personal stories, I might not have liked it as much. I still would have enjoyed it, but I think that makes the album, it takes it up to another level. I quite like the Mountain Goats. The 2 albums I have, All Hail West Texas and Sunset Tree, I think are the albums I have. I quite like them a lot.
Okay.
And after listening to this one, I want to delve into their discography even more, especially the album before this called Tallahassee. I know 1 or 2 songs off of there, and I think it's a good one to start.
Okay,
but
nice.
I like this album. I recommend you all check it out. It's really fun. But before we segue into Jawbreaker, here's a good segue point.
Okay.
I found this awesome YouTube video of the band The Mountain Goats covering an awesome Jawbreaker song called Boxcar.
And it was great.
It was great. We will post it on the website, which is brewsandtunespodcast.com. Click on the link for this episode and you'll see all the bonus content. It's called it's called stuff from the episode. But it's our bonus content. But anyways, it connects. We recommend these albums without knowing that the Mountain Goats had covered Jawbreaker.
Yeah.
And so it was just a fun thing to discover. And so we'll post that for you. But I'll let you start your review.
Okay, so time to get into Jawbreaker's Dear You.
The vinyl, was it blue?
That's a
Lagwagon
Lagwagon
lyric. Joey Cape, the singer of Lagwagon, penned that verse from the song I Must Be Hateful. And he sings about Jawbreaker, the album Dear You, and that's the reason why I bought this album, Dear You, by Jawbreaker. I honestly didn't know Jawbreaker.
I'm glad you did, because I like it a lot.
Do you know anything about the history of Jawbreaker?
I'm guessing by one of the tracks, I kind of know it a little bit.
They were big in the early 90s. I'm not going to say grunge. They were rock. And some people actually point to the lyricism in this album in particular, Dear You, as being emo. If you look at the lyrics by themselves without the context, there's a lot of emotional stuff.
Definitely,
I
could see that, but it's not like... It's not emo, though.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not. But a lot of people have made that connection.
That might be the genre of the lyrics, but not the music.
That's what I'm saying. The lyrics.
Yeah.
We look at the lyrics. However, Jawbreaker was a huge underground rock band. They had a huge cult following, and like they opened for Nirvana, and they were like there's a picture of Kurt Cobain wearing a Jawbreaker shirt at one point in time.
Really.
But then they were champions of the underground scene, not ever signing to a major label. But for Dear You, they signed to a major label, and they
got a lot of backlash for it.
They got a huge backlash. Their singer, Blake Schwarzenbach, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He had vocal surgery for, I think, polyps or some nodules on his vocal cords, so he couldn't sing the same, and he sang much more cleaner on this album than he ever had before, so fans hated it.
That kind of sucks, too, because if he had to have surgery to continue to sing.
Yeah. The fans didn't like it, the record didn't sell too well, and the band broke up eventually for a lot of reasons. And it's only, the past couple years that the band started playing some shows just for funsies.
Yeah.
But Dear You had initially people hated it, and after they broke up, it got huge. The album got a huge following, not a cult following, a huge following.
Yeah.
It's very well regarded by universally musically. Critics love it, people love it. So,
well, I'll tell you one more.
Think.
I'll tell you one more person who it's well regarded by. Me.
And me.
I will say this for. The same way that so many albums are that we listen to on this podcast, it takes more than 3 or 4 listens of the album to get into it.
And actually, me too. When I bought this album just from the Lagwagon reference, I heard it and I was like, it's okay. But I kept it in my car for about a week, and by the end of the week, I was like, this is great. So I kept it in my car for another couple weeks.
Yeah, it probably took me about 4 or 5 listens to start really getting into it. But once I got into it, oh my, there was no going back.
You got into it. Or the words of Mountain Goats, one way in, No Way Out.
Time for a quick beer break. You just finished pouring the rest of your beer, and look at all that sediment.
Yeah, it's way... Remember how I said it's clear at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, it's not clear.
It is very, very sedimenty, very cloudy. So
I feel like this glass that you have now is going to be way
Much more
better than
flavorful.
the first glass.
So I'll drink this as Jesse reviews, and by the end of his review, I'll comment on the beer flavor.
Now back to the program.
Oh, were you doing like that newscaster? Like
Yeah.
the special... this just in. Special bulletin.
This just in. Steve's beer now has sediment in it.
Do you know what that makes me think of?
What? Superman? Batman?
Willy Wonka, like the Chocolate Factory.
The
When they're-
Oompa Loompas?
when they are announcing who got the golden tickets, like on the news, this just in, the last golden ticket has been found.
Yeah.
But that last golden ticket was a fake, as we all know.
Yeah.
Charlie got his
Those come up. He got his come up
from his scrumdiddlyumptious bar.
What a dummy.
Charlie, or the dummy who
The
faked?
dummy who faked it.
Yeah, you can't get into the chocolate factory.
Well, Charlie's a dummy too. He
No, he's-
eats that. He drinks that bubble soda that makes him float.
fizzy lifting drink is what it's called.
Oh, sorry, because he left it right.
But he gives back the everlasting gobstopper that
Yep.
Slugworth tried to steal from him. But we learn that it's
Slugworth.
not actually Slugworth; it's Willy Wonka's little
in
helper.
disguise.
He's like,
It's-
Charlie, you've won!
Except
You've
it's,
won!
That's actually a pretty decent Gene Wilder.
Oh, I love Gene Wilder in that movie.
Charlie! Charlie!
You don't sound like him at all.
You won!
You sound more like Mel Brooks.
Sorry. Charlie!
Charlie!
Give the governor a harumph.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Schwartz.
The Schwartz.
Let's go back to...
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Oh my gosh. Lone Star. Oh man. We've regressed big time. Let's go into Dear You by Jawbreaker.
Pizza the Hut.
Remember he got trapped in his limo and he ate himself to death? That movie is so
so
ridiculously
funny.
good.
Oh my gosh. But actually, back to the album. So, the first track is called, well, once again, this is the album Dear You by Jawbreaker. Track number 1, I gave it 5 out of 5 and recommended it.
Oh my gosh.
It's
a great
called,
song.
It's called Save Your Generation.
I have a present. Dun, 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 dun.
It is the present.
Oh, I love that whole first verse. Oh, it's
You
so
have
good.
to learn to find it within you.
They talk about like the youth are like too obsessed with like being lazy.
Yeah, that's kind of like what this song is about. It's like a message to a younger generation. To
This is the era of the latchkey kids who came home, no parents at home, and just sat there watching TV all day.
yeah. So
The
this,
burnout,
this
you
is
know?
kind of like a mission statement to like the younger generation
Mm-hmm.
to wake up and to like be productive and to
Find it within you.
find it within you. One of the lyrics is a simple rule: every day, be sure you wake.
True.
Yes.
We're killing each other by sleeping in.
You gotta stay woke, man.
If you could save yourself, you could save us all. That drum feels so good.
Prove wrong. One thing that I'll just get out of the way right now is that I think all these songs are catchy.
They're very catchy.
The
very catchy.
choruses are especially good. That's all I gotta say before I
Okay,
move on.
fair enough.
Okay, on to track number 2, which is called "I Love You So Much It's Killing Us Both."
Oh, what a great song.
It is a great song. I only gave it 3.5 out of 5 though.
Are you kidding me?
I guess you could say I gave it 3 mountain goats plus 2 kids.
Fair enough. I'd be hard pressed to find 3 recommendations on this, but this would be up there for me.
that was my biggest problem is that I had 3 honorable mentions and 3 recommendations. So anyway, this song, from what I can gather, it's about being in some type of relationship that is not good for you, but you still are in it because you are like you like the other person.
Yeah.
I love you so much, it's killing us both.
Obviously.
It's like a bad relationship, but you guys still love each other. Anyway, on to track number 3, called Fireman.
I think this might have been one of the singles. There was definitely a music video.
I gave it 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very good.
Very good song. Nice juxtaposition. I'm going to use that word again between like the louds and the restraints.
Yeah.
They do that a lot in this album, though.
And it's another song about a girl and wanting to be with a girl.
Mm-hmm. Dreamed I was a fireman. He's got a lot of dreams in this
Just
song.
smoked, but when you got burned, I dreamed there was a something
Tidal
else.
wave or something?
Dreamed there was a tidal wave. Ravaged your shores, and there were no survivors.
He even dreams he was a dream.
Yeah, I dreamed that was a dream.
So meta, dude. So meta.
So meta.
Oh my gosh.
I suppose I should say right now that his voice is definitely maybe not super palatable to a lot of ears.
It's out of their discography, this is the most palatable he's ever sang. I'll tell you.
Right, but I'm saying,
But yes,
if
I
you're not
agreed.
used to hearing his voice, then it's
a little gruff
definitely
and
not
strained,
palatable.
yeah.
Because what? It's like, I dreamed that was a fireman.
Yeah, it's a little
I-
gruff.
I kind of almost think it sounds like Joe Strummer a little bit,
I can see a little bit
and
of that.
like Tim Armstrong.
I can see that.
Less like Tim Armstrong, more like Joe Strummer.
Yes.
But anyway, that's a good song though.
Mm-hmm.
If I could recommend this whole album, and like, I would, you know.
Mhm.
Anyway, on to the next song. It's called "Accident Prone."
Nice.
I gave the song 4 to 5, and he talks about having a room in the hospital, like keeping a room open in a hospital, because he gets into so many accidents.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're physical accidents. I think they're accidents, like kind of about accidents that are caused during a social situation. So like almost about being socially clumsy, I think is what it seems like. And I think that's why people are like, the lyrics are so emo. Because he talks a lot about like social situations and like kind of being an outcast. And
They're a little more introspective than some of his other things.
yeah.
This is one of their more popular songs in general. Not my favorite song on the album, but one of their more popular.
It's because of the chorus.
Julian Baker has a fantastic cover. We'll post. I'll post it on there just because I think it's worth listening to.
A near miss or a close call. I keep a room in the hospital.
Gosh.
Anyway, on to my next recommendation, track number 5. It's called Chemistry.
This might be my favorite song on the album.
I just realized this. Think about the Switchfoot song Chem 6A.
Yeah.
Close to, just
Oh,
because of chemistry.
Chem, yeah. I mean, I guess there's some connection.
But
with
it's
Chem.
also a song about being in high school.
Yes.
I would say it's basically a song about being in high school and saying like that he's not fitting in, that he's an outcast, but like that he's okay with that. Like
This-
that is good.
This is a heavy, like hitting, like sounding song.
Yeah.
Like if you want to rage, this is a song.
Yeah, this is like one of the fastest ones on the album.
Like I can imagine, like being if I was to be at a show and someone would play the song, I would go in the pit and
be like,
rage.
yeah.
I'd get my chemistry on.
The chorus says, "Corner me in."
Corner me in,
Yeah.
in chemistry. It's all just simple math to me. But my favorite line is when he's talking about
Call me your name.
the next chorus. When he's talking about that girl,
Make them stick. Yeah.
she pierced her ear way before.
pierced her
nose way before it was
Way
cool.
before it was
and then
cool,
she was
yeah.
with some older guy on a motorbike because
Yeah.
she wasn't all about the trends. She was about like
She's just being
Doing her,
herself.
you know,
She's
yeah.
being herself.
yeah, great song, absolutely great song.
But the other songs in the other lyrics in the chorus are, "Call me your names, make them stick. I'll laugh until I'm sick." So like he's saying like, you can call me whatever you want. Like I guess I'm confident in who I am, which is kind of cool. Which is kind of an uplifting song. I very much like it.
I think so too.
On to my first honorable mention. It's track number 6 and it's called Oyster.
I like the taste.
I like taste but can't stand the smell.
That's the hook of the song, you guys.
Yeah. I gave it 4.5 out of 5, and it is an honorable mention. And I believe it's basically a song about wanting the ideal in life.
Yeah. The world is an oyster.
Stuck in a shell,
Dun, 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 dun.
like the taste
of it. Can't take the smell.
Can't stand the smell.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I think, let me see, I wrote down a lyric here. Oh yeah, one of the lyrics is, and it is kind of specifically about a girl, but I think that leads to his wanting the ideal in life. So
Yeah.
one of the lyrics is, "I haven't got a nice thing to say about anyone except the one who caught me staring." So I would imagine a girl, or it could be a guy, who knows, whatever.
Probably.
But if you're staring at a girl, you're like, oh, she's cute, man, or something like that, you know?
That girl is very pleasant on the eyes.
Wow, that girl is a tall drink of water if I was in the desert.
Well, maybe a short drink of water, whatever her height.
Well, any drink of water.
Regardless,
any
she's a
drink of water on the
water.
desert will get you going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
I'll let you continue.
But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to keep moving on here.
Yeah, let's move on with a million other songs.
Track number 7 is called Million.
Oh.
And I believe this is the song where he's kind of addressing the fact that they were on a major label and like he was having trouble dealing with that, all that.
Now, when they jumped to the major label, 2 of the 3 band members were homeless.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They had a lot of inner turmoil and fights in the band. And they said if they didn't sign to a major, the band would have broken up and not done this album.
Wow.
So
Worth it.
Back in the day, like when the punk, who's punk? What's the score? You know?
Yeah.
Back when that was a thing, obviously they got a lot of crap for this. Today, if they sign to a major label, people will be like, "Oh, good for them."
Yeah.
It's a different time.
But from what I can gather, it seems like he feels like he doesn't really deserve it. One of the lyrics, he says, "I am thrilled and bored. I am unskilled, adored." So like he is self-conscious about the fact that they actually have this major label deal. But anyway, that's a good song though.
It is a good song.
I give it 4 out of 5. On to track number 8. I give it 3.5 out of 5. It's called Lurker 2, colon, Dark Sun of Night.
I don't understand the title ever in the song.
Neither do I. I said it's catchy, but
I like the song a lot, but
I gave it 3.5 out of 5 though.
Yeah.
So moving on to another honorable mention, track number 9. It's called Jet Black.
One of my, I don't hate the song. It's one of my less favorite songs on the album.
I almost recommended it.
We have different tastes, apparently.
The song is set up by a sample piece of a sample track.
Christopher Walken from the movie Annie Hall.
Yeah, of Christopher Walken talking. And the first line is, "I tell you this because as an artist, I think you'll understand." Mm-hmm. So you assume that whatever they say in the song is
encapsulated in that
in that phrase. Yeah. So I tell you this, aka the lyrics in the song, because as an artist, I think you'll understand. So like maybe other people who are also songwriters or whatever else, maybe they'll understand what he's saying in this song. I think it's about him, again, being different from everyone, or feeling as though he's different.
Yeah.
I believe that's what it's about. Again, I think.
Introspective, my man.
It seems almost like he's trying to describe the heart of an artist.
You mean the hardest?
No, the heart of an artist.
Yeah, the hardest.
Or
I'm gonna
maybe
make a short film called The Hardest.
What would it be about?
I don't know, harvesting artists' hearts. That's a tongue twister if I've ever done one. Harvesting artists' hearts.
Hold on, let me try. Harvesting artists' hearts.
You've already messed it up.
Harvesting artists' hearts. Crap, that isn't tough.
Harvesting artists' hearts. Harvesting artists' hearts. Harvesting artists' hearts. Harvesting artists' hearts. Harvesting artists' hearts.
That's a pretty tough one.
It's tough. But like literally like Oregon harvesting artists' hearts to gather them up to
make a mega artist.
Or no, to
eat them.
To
gain the power of those artists.
What do they call it when you like you're a pack rat? Like what's the word for that? Like you
hoarding.
When you want to hoard the artist view, like you want to hoard that perspective.
Oh,
so you harvest artists' hearts.
Copyright American Brews and Tunes idea for a movie.
Isn't that an interesting idea?
That is interesting. Yeah.
Like getting all these people with like really artistic views and killing them and taking their hearts to try and
hoard
the perspective.
To try and hold on to what you view as beauty.
No, just
in that art.
To absorb their views and try and
grow.
Get a monopoly on that. Like just be the ultimate artist.
Trying to be the ultimate artist.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of cool, huh?
That's very interesting.
But here's the twist.
Okay.
The person harvesting them is a starving artist, so they eat the hearts. Oh!
This just turned into a horror movie!
Well, it's not like a horror movie already because you're harvesting hearts.
This just turned into a darker horror movie than it was before.
Let's make a short film sometime and do that. That's kind of cool idea, isn't it?
That's a good idea. Again,
just-
copyright.
I literally just came up with it on the fly because it sounds awesome.
Harvesting artists' hearts.
Yes.
Anyway,
Back to, I'm sorry.
I really like the chorus in that song too. I am jet black. Wait, you messed it up. I am jet black. I am stone cold. I am jet black. But at the end of the song, also Christopher Walken talks again, and he says, "Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see two headlights come." He goes, "I didn't know it was I didn't know it was Christopher Walken because he's like, I didn't know it was two headlights."
Wow, I didn't know. Hey, do you want me to read this?
No.
Let me read it in his voice.
No, hold on. What I'm saying is,
let me read
in
it
the
in his
recording,
voice.
It doesn't sound like
It doesn't.
that.
It was before.
But
It
yeah,
was early.
But yeah, go
Here,
ahead.
I'm going to read this quote for you in Christopher Walken's voice.
Okay, go for it.
Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see two headlights coming toward me fast. I have a sudden impulse to turn the wheel, quick head on to the oncoming car. Wow! I can anticipate the explosion, the sound, shattering glass, the flames rising out of the flowing gasoline.
Okay, so let me just read it real quick in case you didn't get all that.
Wow!
Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see two headlights coming toward me, fast. I have this sudden impulse to turn the wheel quickly, head on, into the oncoming car. I can anticipate the explosion, the sound of shattering glass, the flames rising out of the flowing gasoline.
Now, have you ever had that anticipation, like driving down a road by yourself?
I have, yeah.
All it takes is one slip of the wheel, and I'm over there.
I have, yeah.
I have too. It's a weird.
And-
I think that's a very human like thing to think,
Yeah.
and it's
don't know.
weird. Or like when you're standing like over like at the top of a building, like all it takes is just a jump.
All I gotta do is just walk one step.
It's a weird sensation.
It's a weird thing that humans probably are kind of weirdly connected to the idea of death.
Yes,
know?
but it's very common.
Another thing that I want to do when I'm driving a car is toss my phone out the window sometimes.
Sometimes.
I get the urge when I'm like, I'm just going to toss it out the window. Don't even care.
Sometimes
And just go,
when I'm driving a car, I want to do this thing where I'm in reverse and I'm going really fast, and I turn the wheel real quick, and I jam it to drive, and I spin the wheel and go the exact direction I'm going in reverse, but now forward.
you mean like the cool guys in the car
Cool guys
movies.
in the 70s car movies.
Yeah.
Probably like Smoking the Bandit if I did.
I also really wish that I could do that, but
Let's
you know
move-
what? I think
let's
that,
go back to the album.
I think that might be a bad scene for me though.
Yeah,
So
it's everyone's fault.
yeah, everyone's fault. Yeah. Anyway, on to track number 10, it's called "Bad Scene, everyone's fault." This song is the fastest song on the
Yeah.
album.
Is this the one
And-
that's why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why?
Yeah.
Why is it always like this?
Yeah.
But what is it?
Why, oh, why? Why is it always like this? What do you mean? I'll tell you in a second here.
Yeah, I'm trying to prompt you.
Oh.
What is it? Why is it always like
I was
this?
like, why are you asking me this? Don't you already know?
Oh, I know what it's about.
So this song is
the title
again
says it all.
fastest.
But yeah.
But I gave the song 5 out of 5 and recommended it. So it's basically about he goes to a party and he says, "What sick things I saw. Makeout sessions and bicycle messengers, punks, and the art school dropouts."
We're seeing all these.
So he's seeing
clicks.
all these clicks for people, and then he runs into a guy that he knew.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't seen him in years, and so they go to the kitchen together, the neon kitchen, that's probably a reference for something, and stole a couple of beers to have and catch up,
Beer time.
And then he realized, or his friend tells him that recently he's been dumped by a girl. But his girl, or ex-girl,
Yeah.
was at the party with another guy.
Not cool, bro.
Not cool, man. He said that he still liked her too, so he still had feelings for her. And then the chorus is, all I could say was, why, oh, why is it always like this? Either you're too mean or you're too nice. He said, I even cooked her breakfast. So like that whole thing of either you're too mean or you're too nice. It's like Whenever you
gotta
like
be one way or the other way.
whenever you like a girl, it's always like she always
The bad guy. She goes for
bad
the bad
guy-
boy or the really good guy.
yeah, but never for you though.
Yeah, you're right in the middle.
Yeah. And then verse 2, the second verse, it's actually kind of cool. I like the lyrics in this one. So he says, "So we went into the living room. Someone was blasting Zeppelin. It sounded good. I felt ashamed.
I knew every drum fill.
Yeah, I knew every
love
drum
this
fill.
line.
Yeah, it's such
I
a great
knew
line.
every drum fill.
Anyway, and then he says, anyway, there she sat, totally kissing this guy. They look good. I mean, like in love. Then I remembered my friend." And then the next chorus is kind of from the girl's perspective. Or no, from the guy's perspective, sorry. He said, "How could you do this? You said that you needed space. He's wearing that shirt I gave you." And then she says in the chorus, "Why, oh, why are you always like this? If I'm having fun, then it's breaking your heart. Besides, you said I could have it." So, like, she's just like a total patootie head.
She is, but that's it is really cool that you see three perspectives in one song.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet.
Good writing.
That song is just
Well written.
so galdern catchy and really well written.
It's
So
very catchy. Yeah.
that's why I recommended that song. I'm going to go through these last ones pretty quick, except for the last one, because I'm going to talk about that one a little bit.
Okay.
So track number 11 is called Sluttering May 4th. Catchy. A deep meaning, but I do not know what it is, though. Anyway, track number 12 is called Basilica. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. It seems like it's kind of a song about a friend in some type of dire situation. Based on the lyric right in the beginning of the song, he said, "Sunken-eyed best friend of mine, superpowers, superhero sapped of all powers."
Mm-hmm.
So like he viewed his friend as like this superhero, but then sunken-eyed. Maybe this has to do with drugs, just like the
Could be.
other song, but that's also a pretty good song. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. On to track number 13, the last track on the non-deluxe edition of this album.
The original version.
The original version, called Unlisted Track. Normally, they do Untitled Track.
Mm-hmm.
This one's unlisted. Interesting.
Yeah.
This is all acoustic.
Just acoustic and vocals.
Very interesting chord choices.
It is. It's really
Very, very
interesting.
cool. Very cool.
It keeps you focused. Like if you think of this style, like the '90s, like alt rock scene, you don't think acoustic.
Yeah, no, you definitely do not.
But this one keeps your attention very much.
Yeah, I think so. There are some really interesting lyric choices in this song that I just kind of want to point out.
Yeah, go for it.
The first line is, "You can't sell me incense. My world smells good enough to eat." So like
smells
good enough to eat. Yeah. So I kind of like that idea of like, you can't sell me something that's like smells better than what I should be smelling, because my world already smells, like my point of view, my life,
It's already
smells good enough to
enticing,
eat. Like it's
so,
already
yeah.
enticing enough. You don't need to sell me something. So I really like that. And then in verse 2, he kind of flips that a little bit and says, "You might show some interest. Your world looks good enough to eat."
Mm-hmm.
So like he's kind of imploring somebody to like
somebody else.
just be like, start being alive. Like
Yeah.
get alive and be like passionate
What are you
about
doing?
about your world. Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You were going for Walk and I was going for Seinfeld. What are you doing?
What's with these airplane snacks? I'm going back to someone else.
What's with these airplane snacks? Wow.
Why?
Wow.
Wow.
That's Owen Wilson right there.
Wow.
Do Owen Wilson. His voice. Wow.
No, you're doing way too much of Christopher Walken.
Try to do Owen
I'll
Wilson.
do Owen Wilson's. Wow.
No, that's not. You got to go
Wow.
more nasally.
Wow.
Wow.
Really? What movie are you talking about?
Any movie he's ever
Oh,
done.
wow. It's more of a
Wow.
It's more of an open mouth, yeah. Oh. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I just think about him in Fantastic Mr. Fox as the coach.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing great out there, Ash.
Oh, man.
Ash. Substitution. Ash.
Wow.
But
The
anyway,
world looks good enough to eat.
Anyway, back to this song. There's a couple more lyrics that I just want to point out. One of the lyrics is, "Now everyone tells me they're crazy. Crazy people aren't so
Effing boring.
Effing boring. Wake me up when you're through being cool because I'm snoring and hoping to see you beside yourself. Show me the raw stuff of youth. Would you do it for yourself? So he's talking about people who are like different and quote unquote crazy. So I kind of like that. Like he's like saying like you have to be crazy. Like you got to live the way that you want to live.
Yeah.
So all in all,
has the album withstood the test of time? Like this was what 95?
95, yeah. I think so. I think everybody should go listen to this album.
It's 23 years old.
It's fantastic.
And as Blink-182 says, no one likes you when you're 23. So this album's 23 this year. Do people like it?
Yes.
Yes.
They've proven Blink-182 wrong.
Yeah. Or no, Blink-182 is just great, but has nothing to do with this.
If you haven't checked out either of these albums, go check them out now. They're both worth listening to.
Yeah, both albums are definitely worth checking out.
They really are.
So next week, we are doing a one-off episode. Nathan Heemstra, our college buddy from Geneva,
Shout out Nathan Heemstra.
Shout out. He recommended the album Sun Life by the band Cleanup, so that's what we're going to be reviewing next week as a one-off.
Yes.
But for the next regularly scheduled episode, I'm going to recommend a great band for you that you already should know, but I don't think you do very well. It's by the band Motion City Soundtrack.
Okay, yeah.
The album is Commit This to Memory, and you should know this because they're from Minnesota, your home state.
That's true. They're from Minneapolis, right?
I believe so-ish. So it's definitely going to be a fun. I hope it's going to be a fun listen for you.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you kind of a curveball here, buddy.
Uh-oh.
A little bit of a curveball. I don't know if you'd think of me recommending this for you, but I'm going to. I'm gonna recommend to you the album Torches by Foster the People.
Interesting.
That's a song.
What's their
with
big song?
Pumped Up Kicks.
Is that on that album?
It is, yes.
Oh, praise the Lord. So at least know one song.
It's my least favorite song on the album.
I like that song, but I don't know any other song by them.
I like the song, but I think the other songs are better.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
all right, so those are what we'll be listening to. Last review of the beer. Like Jesse said, my beer was way more cloudy with that last.
Did it taste differently?
Yes. I got the cinnamon and vanilla flavors.
Can I take
a tiny sip? Yeah. Swish it. Swirl the glass real quick.
Okay. Swirl, 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 swirl.
Swirly.
Squirrels.
Take a sip. You get like cinnamon and like nutmeg and vanilla.
Ooh,
do you taste that?
Way more of the spices.
Yes, the spices come
way
in
better.
big time. I agree. That's since I poured the beer in there, I've had this like flavor of spices and it's really delicious.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
So I'm very happy with this beer.
My beer is still class.
So consistent flavor wise the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good deal. What? Let's.
I mean, as it got warmer, as it got warmer, the flavors were definitely more pronounced, but
yeah,
it's still good though.
Let's cheers, sign off, and see you guys again next week.
Cheers, and then we'll say our soft, sweet goodbyes.
Yes, let's say it soft and sweet this week.
Yes.
Shibbity-beep-a-dow. My name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
Thanks for joining us for another fun episode of American Brews and Tunes.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes.
Shibbity-beeby-dow.